Okay, today we are here to discuss the GDP and everything. Okay, and right now, okay, I want to tell fatafat means okay very fast. Okay, what is GDP? That is total value of everything a country produces, the goods and services. That is useless. That's GDP is a garbage definition. GDP is a garbage definition. The concept, the every single thing, whatever you have learned, and that okay, the GDP shows the true picture of economy of a country's growth. Okay, if your country has a high GDP, which means your lives are better, your okay, there's nothing with that. Why? Because I will say it. Okay, what is total value? Sum. Okay, what is total value? Sum. You know that. Okay, what is everything? Total value of everything, they said. Everything means TVs, fridges, washing machines, gadgets, mixers, grinders, everything. Okay. Okay, some. Okay, yeah, houses and everything. Nature means raw materials. Yes, yes, okay, producers means who is going to produce that? Some labor. Hmm? Who is going to produce? That labor is going to produce. Okay, and the goods and services means goods means the food, and the services means the servicing. Okay, means okay, waiter services, water as a complement. Okay, in the tissue paper, electricity bills inside the yes. Okay, you are paying for the electricity bill also. Okay, you are paying for everything. Okay, just like example. Okay, you have ordered some food like masala dosa inside India, and you know what? Okay, and masala dosa is 70 rupees inside India. Okay, so masala dosa is 30 rupees. Okay, masala dosa 70 rupees. Why they are taking it? Actually, to cost the masala dosa, to make the masala dosa, it takes almost 25 to 30. The raw materials and the ingredients. Okay, yeah. But they will charge some extra water, electricity bill, water. Okay, water. Okay, first they will charge for water because they need because they are giving the purified water. Purified water, how they are getting it? Electricity. Then electricity bill will count, and then hotel waiter they have to pay the salary, and the clay for cleaning the table they have to pay for the salary, and then after that okay, they have to pay for some receipt giver. Okay, he has to give the receipt, and then the bill collector. Yes, exactly. The bills have to be given to them, and the cooks. Okay, the bills and the cooks. Okay, the cooks. Yeah, the cooks. Okay, the bill collector, the receipt giver, yes, exactly, and the bill collector, and the cook, yes, exactly, and you have got the plate, you have got the clean plate in which you are eating. How that plate is clean? Because somebody has washed it. There is okay, inside the hotel there is someone who is going to wash the plates. So these are all the services. These are all the services: water, electricity bill, hotel waiter, and all these services. Okay, whatever they are giving it. So that is 30 rupees. 30 plus 30 masala dosa for that masala dosa food which you are eating, that is 30, but why you are paying for 40 extra? That 30 is the here, 30 plus 30 here, and the 10 rupees you are going to give it as a profit. Okay, so nobody will do the business. Nobody will do the business. Nobody will do the business okay, without making a profit. That's why it is called as business. Okay, so they have to pay for everything. Okay, and what is profit? Okay, after paying the fruits of labor or before paying the fruits of labor? After paying the fruits of labor, after paying the salaries, cost of production. Okay, the electricity bills, everything. Okay, yes, maintenance fees. Okay, cleaning, washing, everything. So okay, and also the person who has somebody has eaten it and they have gone, and you have came there, and they will wash the okay, they will clean that table perfectly, and then they will make you to sit in that particular place, right? So every single thing goes in the inside the hotel. Okay, I'm just giving the example. So right now that is called as a goods and services. Okay. And okay, everything a country produces. What is country produces? Okay, country is a non-living thing. A flag makes a masala dosa. No, flag does not make masala dosa. The people who are living inside that flag, the people who are living inside that land, okay, they are going to make the masala dosa. So the people who are living inside India, okay, they are going to make the masala dosa. So which means the total value of everything a country produces, the goods and services. Okay, these are all the things which you need to understand. So this is the most important thing which you need to understand, is that these people have okay made you. Okay, these are the same important things. Okay, right here. Okay, you can look at here. Okay, so this is the thing. Yes, everything means goods and okay, water, everything. Yes, this one. Hmm. Yeah, producers, food. Okay, goods and services. Yes, exactly. Hmm. And now, okay, where this raw materials and resources came from? Okay, where the raw materials and resources came from? We'll tell here. From the nature you get the raw materials, and from the raw materials and the resources, what are the resources? Equipments, tools and machine. Okay, you get, okay, you give, okay, the manufacturing furnace and the production plant. See, the raw materials means, okay, the crops. Okay, crops, cement, brick, sand, stone, iron, steel, gold. Okay, crops. From the crops you make the flour. Okay, from the crops only you can make the flour. So, okay, processing of the crops, okay, will turn into flour. Okay, that will be making. Okay, what is vegetables? Okay, you need vegetables like potato. Potato is a vegetable. Okay, potato you need to have, and you have made the chutney. You have made the coconut chutney from the, okay, from where, okay, some nariyal, that is coconut. Okay, coconut chutney. So you need coconut, you need a vegetable that is called as a potato, and you need the flour of dosa to make the dosa in a pan, that is tawa pan. Okay, so that pan is required. Okay, yes, exactly. And you need the gas. So all these raw materials, all these equipments, that is raw materials are there, and using the resources, equipments, tools and machines, whatever it is required to make the dosa, you are going to manufacture that inside a one particular building called as a hotel. Okay, you are going to manufacture. Okay, I am making the terms very easier. Raw materials means, what are the raw materials here? What are the raw materials? Please tell me. Okay, what are the raw materials? Please tell me, please. What are the raw materials? The raw materials. What are the raw materials? Here. I will tell you. The raw materials are here. Okay, the flour of dosa, the vegetable, the aloo means the potato vegetable, and then the coconut. That is the raw material. And the resources are the tawa or the pan, and the gas. Okay, the gas. Okay, which is required to make the dosa. You know, and yes, exactly. And the services means the cook is doing everything. Okay, raw materials, resources, services, every single thing is required to manufacture one particular thing. Without human labor, you can't do anything. Okay, so the raw materials, resources, and the raw materials, the resources, and the okay, the cook, that is a service guy. That service guy, cook is a part of service. So these three are required. These three are required. The raw materials are required. The flour of dosa, the potato vegetable, and the coconut. Okay, you need to. Okay. And who is going to? And using the resources, the tawa or the pan and the gas. Okay, that gas cylinder. Yes, exactly. Okay, here. See. The raw materials, the flour of dosa, the potato, the coconut, the resources, the talao pav. Yes, exactly. Tawa or the pan. Okay, yes, gas, equipment, tools or the, yeah. And the manufacturing furnace. Okay, inside the manufacturing furnace. Okay, what is it? Okay, there may be some manufacturing, right? Okay, some of them they use small, and some of them they use big. So that manufacturing thing is there. Okay, so in order to make some food also they use something. In order to make something also, exactly. Yes, exactly. So big vessel, big thing. Okay, yes, exactly. Every single thing is there. Every big, yeah. So in terms of science, I'm telling it. In terms of science, I'm telling it. Okay, you can understand it in your own language. Okay, the raw materials, the flour of dosa, potato, coconut. The resources are tawa or the pan, and the services is exactly the raw materials, resources, services. Exactly, the raw materials, resources, and the services. Okay, the raw materials and the resources have to be serviced by the human labor. The raw materials and the resources have to be serviced by the human labor in order to give you a certain output called as the masala dosa. In order to give you the complete finished product. The raw materials, the resources, and the servicing of this. Okay, servicing of this raw materials using the resources, using the human labor is going to give you a finished product called as a masala dosa inside one particular building called as a hotel, which does the trade of goods and services. What is the good here? Masala dosa. Remember this thing. You think like a business means trade of goods and services. Okay, it can be hotel, it can be restaurant, it can be schools, it can be colleges. Business is business. School is also having business. Don't say that school does not run business. Huh? They say okay, it gives knowledge, everything. Okay, remember this thing. Okay, if there is no business, there is not even a single thing. Okay, there inside the planet. Okay, remember this thing. Every single thing runs on the business. You have to learn economics first. Every single thing learns. Okay, every single thing. Okay, runs on business. What is business? It where the transaction of money happens. Where the transaction of money happens for the exchange of goods and okay, for the goods and services, for the exchange of goods and services in order to satisfy the demands and the needs. Yes, exactly, and the survival of a human inside one particular land. That is called as a business, and you know every single business is done by this thing only. So you need to understand every single thing. Okay, is related to this thing. Now, the nature, raw materials, resources, everything. Okay, because I'm telling it fast. Okay, you need to understand. I'm telling it fast, and you have to okay recoup it fast. So okay. Now, what is profit? What is profit? After pay, okay, lesser than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Okay, greater than or equal to means the cost which has been taken by the hotel owner in order to buy these raw materials and the resources, and he has to pay for the salary of this human labor in order to do the servicing of these raw materials and the resources inside one particular arena or a building. Okay, in order to do the transaction of the goods and the services. Yeah, okay. Yes, exactly. The cost which has taken it, it should be greater than, okay, that cost should be, that cost should be, okay, you know what, okay, he should ask the high cost. He should ask the very high cost, okay, from the cost from the cost which has costed him, that much cost. He should not, no, okay, then that is not called as a business, that is called as a loss. Okay, okay, if he asks less than or equal to, if he asks less than or equal to, then it becomes a loss. If he asks becomes less than, it becomes loss. If he asks equal to, then it becomes neutrality. And if it becomes greater, then it becomes profit. So he need to ask more what is costed him, and he has to know, okay, if that building is not his, if he has rented it, then he has to think about how he can make that rent also inside that one particular month to pay that particular rent. So he has to think about everything. First he has to think about the rent, first he has to think about the electricity bills, okay, maintenance cost, then he has to pay for the salaries and the cost of production, the resource management, okay, the resources and the raw materials. Every single thing is required in order to make sure that thing. And then he has to make the place very quiet, and okay, ambience means peace and quiet. For sometimes you're not paying for even the labors also, you are just paying for what, the environment in which you are sitting. The environment in which you are sitting, you are paying hundreds of, okay, if you go to Haldiram's restaurant, and if you go to Haldiram's restaurant, you are paying 159 rupees, okay, for one masala dosa. Inside Bangalore, okay, Haldiram's restaurant is there. Okay, it's there in very very metropolitan cities, very high end cities. One masala dosa you are paying 159. I have never eaten there. I have eaten Belpuri there. Okay, I know that thing. Okay, so I am saying this. Okay, how much the quality they have maintaining, and you know what? Exactly, every single thing is, you know what, like so much sophisticated, so much machinic, so much sophisticated and so much machinic, and at the same point of time, okay, I'm saying this, that much not delicious, which you get it inside the other hotels, okay, with a lesser cost. But you are paying for what? You are paying for ambience. You are paying for what? You are paying for ambience. You are paying for some great delicious, okay, you are not paying for some great delicious taste. You are paying for some great thing. Okay, because I have eaten everything. I know, okay, how they make the things. Yes, they make every single thing great. Okay, they make some of the things are great, and some of the things are not that much great. Okay, but still it has a name. Why? It's a brand. Haldiram's restaurant. Okay, forget about, okay, I'm not saying like, okay, yes, exactly. Yes, they give you the good products, but when you go to the hotel, you expect the taste. Yes, the taste. Yes, exactly. And because remember, you are going sometimes. Okay, and you are going sometimes. Yes, they make the healthy products. They make the healthy products. That's the reason maybe it is not tasting that much. Okay, in the other things, they make the healthy products. They make the healthy products. Every single thing is healthy there. And at the same point of time, sophisticated ambience. You know what? Peace. You get the peace while you are eating it. No one is going to come and disturb you. Okay, you are not going to hear single voice apart from the people who are sitting. It's simple, very simple. That's the reason. So at some point of time, you are paying for that also. So okay, that is the thing. Okay, now the 50 minutes are over right now. Okay, this is the basic. This is the basic you need to understand. This is the basic. Basic gone now. Okay, why this definition? Why this definition is waste? I will tell you. They are saying total value of everything. Okay, the total value of the goods and the services. The goods and the services produced inside in the country. Produced inside a country. Okay, but they never ever told you, okay, this goods and services, they, where is there? Remember, you need, okay, remember, are you going to learn are you going to learn education in an open air? No, you are going to learn in a building, right? You are going to, you are going to learn for 20 years inside a building, and then you are going to earn the things for survival. Okay, most of the time survival for 35 years. First learn for 25 years, then earn for 35 years. The goods and the services, yes, the goods and services produced inside a country. Okay, now the goods and services are produced inside a country, but okay, now are you going to tell me where these goods and services are going to be produced? Okay, are they going to produce outside the sky or inside the land? Inside the land only. Are they going to make these hotels? Okay, are they going to make these things in the street or something without doing anything? They are not going to be, okay, because most of the hotels are inside the buildings only. Hotels, schools, colleges. Yes, okay, these are called as assets. What is asset? Asset is a building that is going to appreciate over a period of time. Okay, what is asset? Yes, exactly. That is a valuable building. That is valuable. That is having a value in terms of crores. In terms of crores, it is going to have a value. And when it has crores, okay, with respect to the crores, it is going to have a value, and that is going to appreciate over a period of a time. Which means goods and services are produced inside an asset. Okay, which are produced in asset. And okay, asset means the schools, the colleges, the schools, colleges, the schools, the colleges, okay, medical institutions, universities, okay, hotels, restaurants, wine shops, okay, that is bars and restaurants, and then malls, okay, factories, industries, everything. Okay, so all these things are there. That is going to be an asset, because it is called as an asset. And you know what? Who is the owner of this asset? Who is the owner of this asset? The ownership matters, my boy. The ownership of the asset matters. So, okay, let me be clear it here. Okay, now I will tell it here. Okay, I will tell it here. Now here. Okay, remember. Okay, this is an asset. This is an asset. Okay, this is an asset. What is an asset? This is a building. And inside a building, and inside some building, okay, with some chimney on the top, okay, you don't understand that. This is a building. This is a building. And who is the owner of this building? The owner. The owner. That is the owner. This is the owner. He is the owner. He's the owner. Owner of this building. Owner of this building. Owner of this building. The owner of this building. Okay, the owner of this building. The owner of this asset. Who is going to. Okay, in this building, the goods and services are produced inside. The goods and the services are produced inside. The goods and services are produced inside an country. Yeah, the goods and the services are produced inside a country. Okay, if the goods and services are produced inside a country, if the goods and services are produced inside the country, okay, this is the definition. The total value of the goods and services are produced inside the country. They said the total value of the sum of the total of the goods and services are produced inside the country within its borders over a period of time. Okay, you know that within its borders. Okay, just concentrate on the goods and services. Where are these goods and services? The goods and services are inside the building only, like hotels. Okay, inside the schools, colleges, medical institutions. Okay, hotels. Okay, wine shops. Which means this is a building. Inside the building only, every single thing is going to be traded. Okay, every single thing is the transaction of the goods and services will happen inside the building. Inside the building only. Inside the building only, the transaction of the goods and the services. The goods and the services will happen. Services will happen. Okay. So when the goods and services will happen. Okay, the transaction of the goods and services will happen inside the building. The transaction of the goods and services will happen. Okay, what is this building? This building is called as a real estate. Okay, remember the school is called as the school is called as a real estate. School is called as a real estate. College is called as a real estate. Medical institutions, universities, any building in which produces the revenue and it has the ownership of one particular entity, that is called as a real estate. Simple words. Okay, simple words. That's a real estate. Hotel. Okay, even house rents are also there. So the goods and the services, most of the times, except the house rent, remove the house rent, because that is not going to most of that except the house rent, most of the employees are working inside the real estate. Most of the employees, who are the employees? In which section, in which category these employees are working? Do you know this thing? The persons who don't own the asset. But remember, the persons who don't own the asset and they don't have a capability to run the asset, those persons are working in the asset. But remember, if you are having a school, why you are going to the school and teaching it? If you are inheriting, remember, if Ambani has every single petrol bunk and jewelry store, is he going to petrol bunk and put the petrol in someone else? Yeah, in Indian Petrol Oil, or any Bharat Petroleum Limited? No, he's not going to do it because he's the owner. And simple knowledge. If who is going to work inside the asset? Who is going to work inside the asset? Who is going to work inside the asset? The person who doesn't have the asset. The person who does not have the asset means he does not own the agricultural lands, schools, colleges. That person is going to work inside the asset, and he doesn't know how to run the asset because his parents have not taught him. His parents have made him to go to the school. That itself is an asset. That itself is an asset. He has learnt every single thing inside the school. He has learned every single thing inside an asset, and he is now going for a job inside an asset. Yes. But not, that is dependent on the schools, dependent on the owner, or dependent on the owner of the school, which means his entire life depends upon the owner. It may be either government or it may be either, government has strict rules and regulations which you have to follow. And the private has highest strict rules and regulations you have to follow, which means you are under the command of that particular person, which means you are not independent, you are dependent. Which that's the reason, if you send your children to the schools and the colleges, you are going to make him dependent. So that's the reason someone has to break the jinx. Someone has to break the jinx inside your family. Someone has to break the generational curse inside your family in order to make your family independent for the next future generations. Otherwise it is not going to be. And someone has to learn the business, someone has to learn the economics, and someone has to bank the generational wealth by legal means. Okay, there are many methods to do the generational wealth by illegal means, but you need to have a generational wealth in order to be independent from the system. Okay, and especially in India, you need to have a generational wealth where you cannot trust on the governments. Forget about that. Okay, now this owner owns the building. The owner owns the building. And that is okay. The owner owns the building, and that is an asset. Owner owns the building, and it is an asset. Owner owns the building, and it is an asset. Okay, and in the asset, the goods and services are produced inside a country. And that is the definition. What is GDP? The total value of the goods and services. Remember, they have told you the third iteration, they have told you the third step, but they have never ever told you the first and the second step. That's the reason these bastards, they have never ever written any single definition inside the book of economics. Okay, completely, making understandable to the common people in a very easiest way. Okay, so that's the reason. Okay, everyone says goods and services. What is the goods and services? What is goods and services? Because nobody is interested in learning. Nobody is interested in nobody is interested in learning and researching apart from the marks. Because I have been like that. Even I have been a ranker. Even I have been a ranker from first standard to the 10th standard. I know I know about the ranks. I was the first ranker in PU second year. I was the second ranker in the SSLC. Then thereafter, my performance declined, and then I hold a distinction degree. I hold a distinction in Bachelor of Science, and I hold second class degree in second class in Master of Science in Mathematics. I know this thing. Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay, I don't know about the ranks. I don't know about the degrees. But apart from the learning, you need to understand every single thing that these people have gone insane. That they have told you the third iteration. This is the first iteration. And this is remember iteration. This is the first iteration. This is the second iteration. This is the first iteration. This is the first iteration, and this is the second iteration, and this is the third iteration. And what the GDP is saying this, GDP is what? The GDP definition itself is this: the total value of the goods and services which are produced inside the country, within its borders over a period of a time. But they have never ever told you the first and the second iteration. The reason your definitions inside the definitions inside the books, they are waste. Your definitions, the GDP is a garbage definition. I have ever seen inside my life the biggest garbage definition, the biggest crook, biggest scrap definition inside the economics. The first definition, gross domestic product, itself is a garbage. Why? Because it is telling about the third iteration. It is telling about the third step. Remember this thing in mathematics, when you do a calculation, when you do a calculation to them, when you do a calculation to the problem, you will directly jump to the first step. You will directly jump to the third step without doing the first and the second. How you are going to jump? Are you going to get the full marks? Are you going to get the full marks? No, you are not going to get it. Why you are not going to get it? Because it is a step by explanation how you got the answers. From the starting point to the ending point with the solution, with the units. With the solution, units, kilometer, miles, grams, whatever it may be. So that is the starting point. From the starting point to the ending point, the teachers expect a detailed analysis of the solution in the form of the calculation. So if you don't do that, okay, you are gone. So this this okay, this goddamn crooks, they have written this goddamn crooks, they have written the third iteration of, okay, the third step, died in the third step, they have mentioned it. But the first and the second step, they have never ever mentioned it. And they have never ever told you the full picture. That's the reason I'm telling you the full picture of grand, okay, GDP, gross domestic product. This is the basic video. You need to understand the gross domestic product is the most important thing, okay, which has been a biggest liar to you that, okay, the GDP of my country is increasing, okay, our country is progressing very hard, our lives are progressing. If you think that thing, you are gone. But you need to understand in which category of your country you belong to. In which category of your country you belong to, that depends. The first question, in which category you belong to? Category, question mark. In which category you belong? Hmm. In which category you belong? Question mark. That is first. And in which, okay, in business category or else in working category? Hmm. That is first. Okay. And the second thing is, exactly. Okay, okay, the rank you hold inside, the rank, what is the rank of you, what is the rank, you belong to the top 10% or the bottom 90%? So, okay, remember this thing, this all conditions matter. In which category you belong? First category is business category. You belong means you are having a business, you are the owner of that business, or you are working inside a business, means you are working in a government school, or you are working, most of us belong to the working class section. So then it belongs and then the second thing is the rank, you belong to the top 10% or the bottom 90%. So you belong, okay, most of us belong to the bottom 90. So next, these two are very very important with respect to this thing. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, and you are okay, and the category, remember this thing. Okay, remember what is the category. Okay, why this category is required. Okay, I will tell you. The category is required because the government comes in the first category. In the, okay, in the supreme head, the supreme head is the government, plus the rich man. Okay, he belongs to the top 10% category. And then comes the banks, the public sector banks. Okay, exactly, which acts as a cordial relation between the rich man and the government and the banks. Okay, exactly. Okay, how the banks, they act as a cordial relation between the government and the rich man and the banks. Okay, rich man and the common man. Okay, because, okay, I will tell you. Okay, I will tell you. Remember this thing. This is very, very important. It is getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper right now. The common man's salary, the rich man's private companies. This is private, and this is government. And the government will pass the salary, and this one is the salary. And the common man gets it. Okay, this is the direction. The common man gets it. The banks. Okay. The government works on the assets. Okay, the rich man works on the assets, and the common man works on the liabilities, and the banks work on the assets. Here three are the winners, and one is the loser. Here three are the winners, the star mark. Here the three are the winners, and here common man is the loser. This is the diagram. You need to understand. Banks, government, rich man, and the common man. Okay, remember this thing. Okay, why this I am telling it? Because, okay, every single with respect to the profit. Every single thing is calculated with respect to the profit. Okay, of a country. The profit of a country is very much required. Why the profit of a country is required? The rich man has to make a profit. The rich man means not just the Ambanis and the Adanis, the top 10% and the top 10%. The top 10% and the ministers. Okay. And the banks. Okay, remember this thing. What is a nation? Okay, what is a nation? I will tell you. Okay, they say it is a nation. Okay, every die for the nation, die for the nation. What is nation? First, you need to understand what is nation. What is the first thing is the banks. Okay, the central banks and the banks. Okay, now, yeah. Here, see it. The banks, yes, the banks, the government, the rich man, and the common man. The common man, the loser. The common man, the loser. Okay. Okay, remember, the banks work on the assets. The banks work on the assets. The banks work on the assets. The government works on the assets. The rich man works on the assets. The government works on the assets. What is an asset it has? Land price. Land price. What is the land price? Okay, yes, exactly. It is going to increase. It is going to get increased over a period of time. Then you have to pay the price of the land. Then you have to pay the price of land. Price of land is going to increase. Tax you have to going to increase. Then the stamp duty price 1% is going to increase. 1% duty, 1% duty tax, and the registration charges. And the fuel cost in order to do all this transaction, the fuel cost. Okay, that is also matters. Okay, now 1 2 3 4 5, the government. Okay, every single land belongs to the government. The land, the sovereign land belongs to the government. But after making a construction, if you make the construction fees, I think construction fees also you have to give it. And after making the construction also, you have to pay the tax yearly tax. You have to pay it yearly tax. You have to pay it to the government in order to retain that ownership of that particular. Yes, exactly. So that is called as the government works on these assets. The government works on the assets. Okay, the rich man has inherited it. What is inheritance? This top 10%, the top 10%. Yeah. And the common man belongs to the bottom 90%. The common man belongs to the bottom 90%. And when the common man belongs to the bottom 90%, okay, remember this thing. The government works on the assets. The banks, they hold the assets, okay, as a collateral. And the rich man has the top 10%. Okay, the top 10% and the bottom 90%. Remember, this top 10, the government which has the assets, and the rich man who has inherited the assets, who has the top 10% rich man, who has inherited the assets, they are going to pass something called as the liability to the banks and the liability to the banks, and the banks are going to pass the liability to the common man. Okay, and what is that liability? That is a digital cash. That's a digital cash, and that is a liability on the balance sheets of the that is called as a salary. 720 hours. A salary. What is the salary? This is a salary. He works for a salary. The salary is 720 hour dose, or else it's like 25,92,000 second dose for the rats inside the matrix. Okay, this is that is 30 days salary after 30 days. Yes, 1 month. So, and whatever the salary is there, it is a bank. Okay, it's okay for inside the banks. It is the whatever the salary is there inside the banks, that is a liability on the balance sheet. So which means the government is passing a liability, and the rich man is passing the liability on to the common man's. And exactly, and they are preserving the assets. What the government is doing? Government school is there. Government school. government school, college, government schools, colleges, universities, everything. That ownership, the ownership, the ownership belongs to the government. The ownership belongs to the government. Okay. The rich man, okay, the schools, colleges, everything. The schools, colleges, universities, okay, the malls, jewelry stores, petrol bunks, everything, it belongs to the, okay, the government is government. The rich man belongs, the top 10% belongs to the private sector. The private sector, the government sector and the private sector. This government sector, the government sector and the private sector. The private sector, the government sector and the private sector, okay, they have this okay, they have these assets. And you know what, these assets, they are registered in their name, means they have this ownership. They have this ownership of these assets. And when they have this ownership of these particular assets, which means they are going to win each and every single day, because they are not going to lose these assets. They are not going to lose. They are not going to lose. No minus minus, no minus minus minus. Every single day, that's fixed. That's constant. Assets equal to K. Okay, let us write. Let us write. Okay, i.e. okay, in physics how you write K equal to constant. K equal to constant and fixed. Okay, let us write K. Let us K is equal to K, constant and fixed. Now assets is equal to ownership of assets, ownership, the top 10 percentage of the society of India, ownership of the assets is constant, that is K. That is K. Assets equal to K. Assets equal to K. You are not going to lose the ownership of the assets, okay, until you make a big mistake in the business. So which means the assets are there inside the government sector and the private sector. Are they registered inside the government sector and the exactly. For example, the Narayan Murthis and the Sudhai Murthis and the Reliance corporations. Ambani is never ever going to lose the Reliance Mart. He is never ever going to lose it. The Murthis, they are never ever going to lose the Infosys. That is an asset. That is a building. That is a building. That is a building. That's a building. And inside the building, the computers are there. That's fixed. And inside the building, that inside that Infosys building, there are some okay instruments. There are some. There are wires, cables, Wi-Fi, servers, everything. And you know who is going to change? Who is going to change? Remember this thing. The buildings are never ever going to change. The buildings are going to remain the same. The tables are not going to change. The tables are going to remain the same. The computers are not going to change from there, move from there. Okay, only the employees who are going to come from 9 to 5, their lives are liabilities, which means their life itself is a liability, and their life itself is a liability, and their life is a liability. Remember this thing, the common man's life is a liability. Life is a liability. Liability. Okay, the common man's life is a liability, and his salary is also a liability on the bank's balance sheet. Which means the top 10 percentages, the top 10 percentage that who holds the ownership of these assets, they are going to win each and every single day and each and every single point of time. Okay, now because the banks, they operate on assets, the government operate on the assets, the rich man operate on the assets, the rich man have the corporations, the top 10% have the corporations, and inside the corporations you are going to be there. Inside the corporations you are going to be there. Inside the corporations you are going to be there. Okay. Okay, and you can be removed, you can be fixed, you can be installed. You are a variable. Assets are K. That is constant. That's fixed. Okay, that just like sun rises in the east, sets in the west. Okay, milk is white. Sun rises in the east. Okay, sets in the west. Okay, and that's at same point of time milk is white, and at the same point of time, okay, that's exactly. Yeah. So you okay, your job can be taken out, or it can be, okay, your job, you are going to lose the job, you are going to, yes, exactly. But remember, but remember, if anything happens to your owner, if anything happens to your owner, nothing is going to happen, because they are going to take rest in hospital, they are going to be happy. Okay, they are going to be discharged one day. Okay, they are going to come to the late. Okay, because they are born with snowball effect, which means, the snowball effect means what? The snowball effect means a rich man is going to have every single biggest ball of a snow with him. And you know, the, okay, he's going to have a spoon, he's going to have a golden spoon, he's going to have a golden spoon with him, but he's not going to have, but the common man is not going to have it. He's going to have a spoon. Okay, exactly. And he's going to have a raw materials and ingredients, and you know what, he's going to feed that much amount only to you, only one spoon for one month. Okay, and you are going to take that, and you are going to do like this for 30 days. Okay, for 30 days, and after that you have to pay for the bills, you have to pay for the bills, you have to pay for the taxes, and then you have to come back again and again, which means you are dependent on the top 10% in order to give you the money after 30 days. You are understanding the game? You are understanding the game? So which means you are dependent, you are not independent. So that's the reason someone inside your family has to break the jinx in order to build the assets, in order to build the buildings in which the business grows. Okay, where the computers are fixed, where the desks are fixed, where the tables are fixed, every single thing is fixed. Okay, just the people will come and work, and they will take their salaries, and they will work for you. You can enjoy it every single day and every single period of time for almost 30 to 40 years. Just you have to, just you need to understand how to manage the business. That's it, because you are going to make it. So that's what we call it as why the businesses are very important. Your schools, your colleges, your mathematics, your science is not going to be important. It's never ever important. Why? It's just important in order to keep addicted. It's just like a drug. That salaries, what is, remember this thing. Okay, drugs are not just cocaine, marijuana, bongs, okay, weeds, everything. Okay, the drugs are, okay, money is also a drug. They are going to give you the financial drug in order to, okay, manage your symptoms. In order to manage your symptoms of taxes, bills, groceries, electricity, okay, some enjoyment, okay, and some survival. That's it. All this thing. Other than that, they are not going to, okay, that's the dose which they are going to give it. That's why it is called as a 720-hour doses. That is 720-hour dose. That is 25,92,000, I think. 720-hour means, okay, exactly, I will take it. Okay. 720 into 3,600. 25,92,000. Yeah. 25,92,000 seconds you have to survive. That much dose they are going to give it. Okay, just like how the doctor gives it, that much dose they are going to give it, and every single month you are going to need that dose again and again and again and again, and they can create the dose. The only difference between the top 10% and the bottom 90% is that the top 10% without doing anything, the top 10% of our India, who holds the 70%, who holds almost 65 to 68% of the nation's wealth, okay, right now, they have built the assets, okay, in which you are working, okay, and at the same point of time, you are completely, okay, you are completely in their den, you are completely in a lion's den. Okay, so don't say like, okay, don't say like these things will never matter to you. Okay, these things will always matter, because because they are creating the dose, the rich man, the superior man, the crown, okay, the crown guy, okay, the rich man is, he creates the dose, He creates the dose, and he creates the dose himself. He creates the dose. What is the project? What is the project? They are going to give it to you. Okay, the rich man knows he is going to make a profit. What is the profit? After passing the fruits of the labor, okay, after passing the salaries, after giving you the salaries, he knows he is going to make a profit after 6 months after completing the project. In financial corporations, what is the school? The number of teachers are very less. The number of teachers are very less, and at the same point of time, the number of students are very more, and some staff is there finish, and some maids which are going to work. Simple. Just give. Okay, just make sure you have to calculate every single thing, how much it is required in order to pass the salaries, okay, to them in order to function properly. And the fuel tax, the fuel, okay, which is required to run the school buses, okay, that cost, that is. And one time, it's a one time investment. The school is a one time investment. The schools, the colleges and the education institutions are never ever going to be taxed by the government because they are education, which means it's a temple of knowledge. But that's a business. That's a business. The school is a business. The schools are business. Remember this thing. When it is not called as a business, when there is no money involved, but you are paying the fees, right? Yeah, that is money, right? Yeah, that's a business. Don't say that schools are business. Schools and colleges, medical institutions, every single thing is a part of business. Huh. And you know why they are not taxed? The ministers are involved. The education, if the ministers were not involved, the education institutions would have been taxed, because the ministers, remember every single rule, there is a hidden reason behind it. The ministers, they wanted to convert the black to white, finish. Okay, and at the same point of time, they don't want to pay the tax. Exactly. So that's the reason where the den is there. Yes, exactly, they are going to be there. So some of the real estate, it is going to be, yeah, okay. So yeah, okay, now the rich man creates the dose and the poor man gets the dose for 25,92,000 seconds. That is 720 hours. Okay, you have to convert. Okay, you have to convert that 30 days into this one. You should not talk in terms of months. You have to talk in terms of seconds. You have to talk them. Okay, because you have to remember this thing. Yes, exactly. It is what it is. Remember, economics, mathematics, science, it doesn't do you a favor. It doesn't do you a favor. You have to be strict. You have to be strict in order to learn the true things. So okay, remember. So this is the thing. So the first thing is this man. The first thing is that this man. The first thing is that this man, the rich man, creates the dose, and he created the enough small amount of dose for this bottom 90%. The top 10%, of the rich men, they created the dose for the bottom 90%, for the bottom 90%, for a small, okay, for the bottom 90% for a smallest period of a time, that is 25,92,000 seconds, or else 720 hours. What is 25 lakh in American standard? That is in international standards. That is 2.592 million. 2.592 million seconds. That's it. After that, you are going to be empty again. You need energy. You need the dose. Yes, come back. So this is the top 10%. This is the top 10% and the bottom 90%. So this is the top 10% and the top 10% and the bottom 90%, and the top 10% and the bottom 90%. See, this is the top 10 and this is the bottom 90. Okay, now the top 10% created the dose, because the creating the dose means profit. They got the profit. They got the plus, and they have passed some. Okay, they have passed some charges called as plus, small plus. That is acting as plus, but that is going to be minus in the form of taxes, bills, and you know they are going to pass that thing inside the banks. Okay, the banks okay, which is going to, okay, this is a symbol of bank. The symbol of bank is like this, okay, and they are going to pass this values inside the bank, where that is going to be, the power is going to be killed, the power is going to be killed by okay, preserving the same value. Okay, so this is the same scenario. Okay, now if this is the thing which is involved here, if this is the thing which is involved here, the banks, the government, the rich man, and the, okay, exactly. So one two three, you need to understand. Okay, remember, in the game of ludo, okay, if you are playing it, you have to play in such a way that all the four compete with each other, all the four compete with each other, and they win it. So what if three people, they become one sided, okay, against one man, okay, three competitors, they become, okay, one sided with one sided, and the, okay, okay, and the last, the fourth one, he doesn't know, the fourth one, he doesn't know, okay, that these three people are one sided. And that's the reason the common man doesn't know economics, and that's the reason the economics is not taught, the finance is not taught, the money flow is not taught inside the schools. Why the money flow is not taught inside the schools? Because if they taught you about the money, you you never ever, you would have left the school itself, you would have left the schools, colleges itself. But they need you to be in the school or the colleges. They will never ever talk about the money. They will tell about some science experiments, mathematical formulas, concepts, everything, okay, progressing, okay, from the lower stage to the higher stages of learning. But they will never ever tell you about the money. Why they will never ever tell you about the money? Because if you know about how money works, and if you know that your salary is a liability on the bank's balance sheet, then you would have you would have never ever gone to the school itself in order to be dependent on one particular corporation or one particular building. In fact, you would have created the buildings. Right now you can create the buildings just by accumulating the wealth, okay, of all the salaries, okay, if you can do it, and if you can pass it and make an asset, and if you run the business, okay, you can become independent. But that requires a strongest unity, overwhelming strongest unity that you doesn't have, because you fight against each other's religions, and you don't deserve to have a unity. Okay, now this is the thing. And okay, now I said this is now, okay, now I'm saying this. Now we know who is going to make the profit. The top 10%. What is the profit? What is the profit in the, okay, what is the profit in the economy? What is the profit in the economy? The profit in the economy is after passing the fruits of labor or before passing the fruits of labor? After passing the fruits of labor means after passing the salaries, after paying for, after you paid the salaries to all the employees, and then you have paid the electricity bill, okay, okay, raw materials, resources, you have got it, okay, means, okay, you have passed that threshold, and you have got extra amount, okay, after passing the, okay, yes, exactly, after paying out this maintenance fees and maintenance cost and everything. That amount which remains is the profit, right? After passing out the threshold. The threshold means what? How much it has costed you. You have to cross that threshold in order to be in the profit zone, right? So who is in the profit zone? Who is in the profit zone? The top 10%. Okay. Who is in the profit zone? The top 10%. They are in the profit zone. The top 10%. Who is working for the profit of the top 10%? The bottom 90%. The nation's progress is calculated by the GDP. Okay. GDP and the GDP per capita. Does it have anything to do with the progress and the okay, does it have anything to do with the progress of of all the of all the bottom 90%? No, no. Top 10%, top 10% who owns this all assets, where this who owns who holds the ownership of these assets. They are the owners of the assets, and the assets are having the trade of the goods and services, right? Yeah, exactly. And remember, just I'm not confusing here. Okay, understand it. Understand it. The GDP, which says the total value of goods and services are produced inside the country, okay, they are being produced, they are being these transactions are done in, this trade is done in one particular asset called as this everything, schools, colleges, or hotels or restaurants. Okay, and who holds the ownership? The top 10%. And the GDP, the progress of a nation is calculated, the progress of a nation is calculated on GDP. If the progress of the nation is calculated on GDP, that is the gross domestic product, that is the total value of the goods and services. Okay, the total value of the goods and services produced inside the country, okay, which is done inside the assets, and that is and those assets ownership is inside those assets ownership are concerned with those assets ownership held by those assets ownership held by the top 10%. Does that mean the progress of the that exactly means the progress of the nation, which means the progress of the nation means the progress of the nation means the progress of top 10% who holds the ownership of these assets, in which the goods and the services are produced inside one particular country, in which this trade is going on and the profit is being generated for that particular nation, which means the GDP is concerned with the top 10% businesses. Does it has anything to do with the progress of bottom 90%? No. Does it has anything to do with the survival of the bottom 90%? Yes. Does it has anything to do with the progress of bottom 90%? No. Then why they are telling that this entire GDP measures the progress of the entire nation, in which all the citizens, means all the 100%, the top 10% and the bottom 90% are measured, which means it's a wrong definition, which means it's a garbage definition. Understood the game? Understood the game? This is the game. So every single definition inside the particular economics, whatever you have seen it, it's all fugazi. It's all fake. It's every single thing is fake. Because if every single thing was made real, the real definitions would have come out, then would have burnt yourself. Every single one would have become economist. Every single would have run a business. Everyone would have run business, not become doctors or engineers or then the nations would have collapsed. So that's the reason you are learning the wrong economics. You are never ever learning the right economics, because the right economics is the toughest thing to understand. The right economics is the toughest thing, because you need to know about the banks, you need to know about the assets, you need to know about the liabilities. Assets versus the liabilities, and you need to know about those called as a salary, and you need to know about how your salary is going to be destroyed, how your salary does not make a value, because only the assets produces the money, and that has the value, because that has a value, because that produces the profit. And your money, salary, because after cutting out the taxes, bills, and the taxes on goods and commodities, and the salary, okay, and the interest to the banks to get something, so every single thing is being destroyed there. So you need to understand that you don't belong to this progress of the nation, which the progress of the nation is measured. The progress of the nation is measured in terms of GDP and the GDP per capita. Yes, exactly. And PPP, power parity index. Okay, so triple P, power parity points. So which means it has nothing to do with the bottom 90% which don't hold the assets, which depend upon the assets. So remember, who holds the ownership and who are independent of the, okay, who are independent by expressing their choices and the opinions and the views. Okay, they, their progress is measured. Their progress is measured by all these definitions. But your progress, the bottom 90 progress, is never ever measured. So if your GDP is telling you the true picture, if GDP is telling you the true picture, then why the hell there is a lot of unemployment, poverty, hunger is there? That's the reason that your GDP is useless. So that's the reason your GDP is useless. So the GDP definition itself is a useless thing. Okay, because they have told you the third step directly. They have never told you the first and the second step. Because the first and the second step is very, very important. Because whenever you say, okay, the big businesses are going to stop. Okay, but you need to understand, whenever you see something called as inside the economics definitions, inflation and deflation, inflation and the deflation, why inflation is happening or why the deflation is happening. Inflation, why it is happening? The business have to win. The businesses have to win, and the prices have to be raised in order to profit more. Okay, with respect to the time. And who holds this? And who holds this? Who holds this? Okay, and at the same point of time, the remember this thing. I have constructed this. Okay, I have constructed a beautiful school, or a college, or anything. You know, after some lakhs or crores of seconds, means 10 years or 20 years, that valuation of the building is going to increase higher. Remember that building is not going to have a wings or its legs, but how the hell it is going to increase its value? Who does this thing? Exactly. The banks, the government, and the banks, the government, and the rich man who wants the inflation, and who wants who wants the businesses to win. And okay, what is business? The top 10% holds this profession, and that's the reason the progress of the nation is measured in terms of business winnings. The progress of the nation is measured in terms of progress winning. The progress of the nation is measured in terms of whether its businesses are winning or not. But the nation the nation has included you inside. The nation has included all the 100%, all the 100% civilization, and all the 100% citizens as a part of a nation. But it is never ever telling you that that the measurement or the metric with which the progress of one particular with the progress of those particular lives have been measured is being only with the top 10%. The metric which measures the progress of only top 10%, how it can be the metric which measures the progress of the bottom 90%? So that's the reason you should never ever trust the definitions. You should question the definitions. You should question the integrity of the definitions. Because this definition, the GDP definition itself, is a bullshit. Okay, if any economist comes and says to me, okay, I will slap inside his face. Okay, I will kill him. So telling them that this definitions, whatever they have written it, they are useless. Why inflation? Why inflation? Because the banks, they want to win. Because remember this thing, the banks, they hold something as collateral. Okay, remember this thing. Okay. Okay, here, see here. Okay, this is the LTV ratio. This is the LTV ratio. This is the LTV ratio. Why the banks, they do it? Why the banks, they do it? Wait. Why the governments, they do it? Why the central banking systems, they do it? Why the central bankings, they announce the inflation? Why the central bankings, they announce the inflation? Why the governments, they announce the prices are going to be raised? Why every single thing is there? I will tell you. This is a watch. This is a watch. Okay, this is a watch. This is a watch. This is a watch, and it costs $20. $20. Okay, $20 means 1,800 rupees. Right now, it is costing 1,800 rupees for me. Okay, to get this watch. Okay. Okay. Now tell me, this top 10%, this top 10%, okay, has constructed this watch inside the business, and I have paid this value. I have paid this value of $20, and okay, I have pledged this inside the bank. Hey bank, take this watch and give me some loan. So they have given me $10. Okay, why? Half of that amount. Okay, what is the value? What is LTV ratio? What the LTV ratio is, loan to value ratio. What is the value which I'm giving it to the bank such that it is giving it, okay, in return it is giving me the value, giving me the, okay, the loan means loan for a temporary period of a time. That is that is this, okay, this bank okay, this bank will measure this value, okay, and it is $20, and okay, and the banks, they want the profit, okay, and at the same point of time they have fixed ratios. 50% means half. Every single value, whatever the value is there, we are going to give maximum 50%, and maximum I have fetched $10 from that, because I wanted to run a business of $10. Just imagine, $10. So whether I'm okay, and they have given me time of some 2 years in order to repay that $20 plus, okay, in order to repay that $10 plus interest, because that's the reason they are giving me the, okay, and I have given, okay, I have written, I have given my passport photo, and I have filled the form, and I have just signed every single agreement, okay, clauses, by reading the clauses, by reading the clauses, I have signed the agreements. And when I, okay, read the clauses and signed the agreements, they have made me, they have given me $10, okay, that $10 by keeping this watch with themselves, okay, they will return this after I pay $10 with interest, okay. Now it depends upon me how to give this $10 plus interest with the installments. But remember, the banks, they know this is a valuable item. Think that is the most precious item, $20. Think that there is only $50. Again, think that there is only some $500 in the economy. $500 in the economy, and this $20 watch is most valuable asset. There are $500 inside the economy, or else $5,000 in the economy, and okay, think that there are $5,000 and $20 asset. It's a $20 is an asset. Greater, this $20 asset is the greatest thing. Now they have taken this, and okay, I have kept it in the bank, and the bank knows with respect to period of a time. Okay, remember, inflation is directly proportional to time. Inflation is directly proportional to time, because the banks, they know, the governments, they know, and the rich man, they know that in order to protect their assets, in order to protect their buildings, in order to protect their buildings, in order to protect the sovereign land, they have to increase the price of the lands, and they have to make bottom 90% of the common men and women and their children to work really hard, so that they keep on working hard, and they are chasing these prices which we are rising it. That is what inflation is all about. What is the real definition of inflation? Don't read the books. Tell me, what is the real definition of the books? It's the most shocking truth is, I will tell you, the government and the banks and the rich man, okay, they are purposefully wanting the prices of the assets to appreciate, means to increase the prices of the buildings, the prices of the real estate, the houses, okay, the schools, colleges, everything to increase, increase, so that the bottom 90 percentage should work chasing should work chasing the comforts, but rather than their comforts and luxuries, rather than they are chasing the assets, and they are become dependent. Remember, if they have not done inflation, the bottom 90% would have become independent. The bottom 90% would have become independent at a certain saturation point, and that's the reason they are doing inflation. and inflation is done purposefully 2%. 2%, they are saying 2%. That is not 2%. That is 8% or 10% or sometimes 20% or 25%. You don't know that. Why they are doing this? The bottom 90% has to serve the top 10% assets. And who is going to hold the assets of the who is going to hold the top 10% assets as a collateral? The banks. Because the banks operate on the assets, I said. So if the banks operate on the assets, which means the banks are working for top 10%. Remember, any entity which works on the asset, it works for the top 10%. And it doesn't wants the bottom 90% to win. And if it doesn't want the bottom 90% to win, so then why the hell we are appointing the government, banks, and this crooked evil system, which is never ever going to make you win? You are never ever going to win. Why you are never ever going to win? Because inflation is directly proportional to time. Okay, how? Okay, I will tell. Okay, 2020, you have taken the land. 2020, you have taken the land. What is the land? Okay, this is a land. This is a square piece of a land. And you have constructed a building. Maybe house, maybe anything. Maybe house, maybe house, maybe house, maybe house, maybe house, or okay, maybe house or some industries. Okay, land plus construction, that becomes an asset which produces a revenue, and okay, asset or a real estate. Means okay, use in 2020 with X amount of money, in the three situations. In the first scenario, the first case, the case 1, the case 2, and the case 3, the case 1 and the case 2 and the case 3, the 2020, the 2020 and the 2030 and the 2040, the 2020 and the 2030 and the 2040. The situations are okay. The situations are okay, different. Okay, land. What is land? What is construction? Only land. Okay, remember this thing. In 2020, you are having the land and you have done the construction. Okay, without taking any loan. No loan. Okay, loan, question mark. No loan. No, absolutely no. Loan, okay, loan, question mark, yes. Loan, question mark, double S. Okay, this is no, this is loan, yes, and loan, double S. Okay, and who is forcing you to do the loans? Double loan. Remember this. This is no. Okay, this is 2020. Okay, now I will tell you. Okay, Okay, 2020. Okay, I will write it here. Okay, 2020, 2030, and 2040. X amount of money is there. Okay, now this is the square box, and then this is either a house or else some industries, factories. So okay, you have done this plus this. Loan required. Okay, loan, is it required in this case? Loan, question mark. Okay, is it required? No, wrong. Okay, now the next question here. This is square piece of land. This is land, and this is construction. The land, you have got it. The land, yes, this one is this. Remember this thing. You have got this, and the loan, no. And you know the here. Okay, here the land you have, and at the same point of time here the construction you need to have. For the construction you need to have, okay, or else the factories. Okay, now, okay, for doing this thing, okay, for this it is yes, but for this it is no. Because loan, is it yes, question mark? Yes. How much yes? Only one yes. Okay, because for this no, you have doing yes. Remember this thing. For this no, because you are not having money, okay, sufficient money, this X money, this X money, this X money, the money is remaining same. The money is remaining same in the years, the money years, the money years, the money years, the land, the construction, and this entire thing. Okay, the X, X, X. Now here. Now here, this is the thing. Again, okay, now here, okay, both of them, okay, you can't buy it, you can't buy it. Okay, yes, exactly. Yes, loan question mark. Yes, yes, double S. For whom it is? For this one also and for this one also. So, okay, you need to understand this is the game. This is the game which has been never been told. Here, see, see here. Only concentrate on this. Money is same. Money remains the same. Money is same. In 2020, that is X. In 2030 also it is X. In 2040, in 2020 it is also X. It is 2030 it is also X. And 2040 it is also X. Okay, now this is the time dt. Okay, dx by dt. Okay, this is x, and then this is dx by dt, and then this is d square x by dt square. Okay, what is what this money is doing with respect to time inside the bank? What this money is doing with respect to the time, what this money is doing with respect, what this money with respect to time, dx by dt. With respect to mathematics I'm talking it. Those who know the differentiation and the calculation and the integration, they can sit here. If you don't know that, ask your children. And okay, if your children doesn't know that, yeah, okay, buy the mathematics books and okay, do it. Now, x dx by dt, d square x by dt square. So remember this thing, that is the value, that's the power, the supreme power. Okay, you need to understand what is x. Okay, let us give me x as some, okay, let us, okay, the power of f of x. Okay, f of x is equal to some x. Okay, now what is dx by dt? 1. D square x by dt square, 0. X is greater than 1 is greater than 0. F of x is equal to x. Dx by dt, okay, differentiation of x with respect to dt, with respect to time, is 1. D square x by dt square, that is 0. How, why with respect to 10 years I am considering it as a differentiation, single differentiation? Why with respect to 10 years? Okay, exactly, I am saying it. It's sometimes confusing. Okay, what has happened here inside the banks? Because why you are not able to construct the land with the construction? Why you are not able to buy the land and not able to afford correct construction, making it as an asset and a real asset, and why you are not able to run it without taking any loan over a period of 10 years and then period of 20 years? What has happened with respect to time? What is 10 years actually? I will tell you. 10 years, okay, 1 year, 365 days, every single day, 24 hours, 24 hours, every single hour, 3600 seconds. Okay, now 10 years, That gives you this much answer. Yeah. That is how much? Remember, okay, how you got this answer? 365 days into 24 hours into 365 days, 24, okay, every single day that 24 hours. Okay, this is 1 year. 1 year, 365 days, every single year, 24 hours. Every single year, 24 hours. Okay, 1 hour consists of 3600 seconds. Okay, and then it consists of 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then next comes, okay, 10 years, for a period of 10 years. Now, totally, this much seconds are there. What has happened in this? Okay, what has happened in this? Okay, what has happened in this 300? What has happened in this 315 360 000? Okay, now 31 crore 53 lakh 60,000. 31 crore. Okay, what is this number of seconds? 31 lakh. Okay, 31 crore 53 lakh 60,000 seconds. These 31 crore 53 lakh 60,000 seconds. What has happened with respect to time? Does that land had wings or what? Does that land shifted from the ground floor to the first floor or what? Not. Okay, no. But the X amount of money, okay, that X amount of money, why it has lost the value in this 31 crore 53 lakh 60,000, and who is responsible for losing the power of this value? Have you ever questioned why the things are like this? Why the things are like this? Huh? That is what, okay, that's the reason you need to ask the questions. If you ask the questions, you get ask the toughest questions and get the most transparent answers. Ask the toughest questions. Ask the toughest questions and get the transparent answers. Always ask the toughest questions and get the transparent answers. If you ask me. Why that value is diluted? Why that value is diluted? Why that value has not remained the same in order to make the construction by buying the land? Why only buying land and constructing it with you using a loan in 2030 after 10 years? After 10 years means 31 crore 53 lakh 60,000. Yeah, exactly. That means 310 million seconds. 310 million seconds. This 310 million seconds. Why this 310 million seconds? In this 310 million seconds, what has changed? In this 310 million seconds, what has changed? Where this value has been completely going down with respect to the inflation. That is why inflation bites. It's not corruption. Corruption comes secondary. Inflation forces the worst persons inside the worst communities, inside the best communities, to do the corruption. Remember this thing, it's always inflation. And in order to get protect yourself from the inflation, either you need to have a gold, either you need to have a silver, either you need to have a big establishments. Okay, either you have to be a son of a rich man or rich woman, yeah, or else daughter of a rich man or rich woman. So in that's how you're going to be protected from inflation. Otherwise your asses are going to get burnt. That much I'm going to tell it. Now 2020, 2030, 2040. this value has been decreasing. Why these banks are decreasing? Like why this value has been decreasing? And who is announcing this thing that value has been decreasing? And you have to increase the prices. Increase the price. It happens because of wealth effect. The wealth effect is also important. The wealth effect is the wealth gain effect. That is the wealth gain effect. The wealth gain effect means the wealth effect means the prices of the real estate, the cement, iron, steel, bricks are going to get increased because of that. Yes, exactly. This price are going to get increased. They said. Then what is the responsible for making the prices of these entities going to be increased? Why not every single thing is constant? Why it is increasing with respect to time? Why x is lowing? Why x is going from x to dx by dt, and then from dx by dt to d square x by dt square? Yes, exactly. What is happening? What is happening with respect to 10 years or 20 years? And who is making this power of value to lose it? The power of value to lose it, the power of the money, the power of value to lose it by preserving the same value, in order to lose it, so that the assets are preserved, the assets are going to be higher. That's the reason. Which means in 2020, 2030, 2040, you have built the construction. You are a common man. You are a common man. Which means in 2020, you in 2020 you have from common man you have become a businessman by building an asset. In 2020 you have become from a common man to a businessman, but in 2020 you have decided that I will not become a businessman. I will stay a common man itself. I will depend upon the salary. I will store that value inside the bank. Now in 2030, which means you have stored some value inside a bank. So that bank is a storage unit, and it has to store it safely. Okay. Yes. Whatever the x value it is going to be stored. Whatever x value it is going to be stored. Whatever the x value it is going to be stored inside the bank. Inside the bank. Why after 315 million seconds it is going to lose the value, such that you have to make a loan because you have decided that you will not become a businessman, rather than you will stay as a common man. Only 10 years. Instead of constructing it, you started, you thought of high interest. Instead of, the banks, they said, we will give you high interest if you preserve it for 10 years. Yeah. And that that amount is fixed, that amount is frozen, that amount is locked, frozen, and that amount is going to stay with the bank, and the banks are going to pay some interest, interest, depending upon that, and if the banks have given sufficient amount of interest to that particular value which you have stored inside its storage unit, then you should have not made a loan to buy the house, to buy that to buy that establishment, to construct that establishment, buy the house, buying the land, and then making it as an establishment. But that means with respect to the inflation rate over a period of 10 years, the banks are not going to give you the interest which you should have got it in order not to make a loan, which means they have successfully killed the power of that value. They have successfully covered that power. They have successfully killed the power of that value over 10 years by giving you some interest with that value which you have stored it, but that value plus interest is not matching the rates of inflation over a period of 10 years. And that's the reason the banks cannot be trusted. That's the reason the banks are forcing you to make the loans. The banks are forcing you to make the loans, okay, and at the same point of time you are going to pay the interest on that particular thing. First 10 years, see the hypocrisy of bank, see the betrayal of the bank, see the cunning nature of the bank right now. First of all, they have manipulated you, sir. If you keep here inside here, okay, your money will be safe. You are a common man, you are not a businessman, you don't know how to run a business. So why you are wasting the money? Okay, if your business are going to be running in a loss, why you're risking your ass? Okay, why you're risking your ass? Safeguard okay, why you're risking your ass? Safeguard your ass. So now please give that money. Give that money. So when they give that money, okay, yes, exactly. First of all, they killed the power of that value by preserving it for 10 years, okay, by giving some useless interest which is not matched with the rates of inflation. And at the same point of time, they are, and now you are, okay, now congratulations sir, okay, take this amount. But after 10 years you find that, after 10 years you will find out that whatever the money that bank has given you in 2030, okay, you have deposited in 2020, after the 10 years in 2030, whatever the value that it has given it to you, you are only able to buy the land. You don't have enough money. That money with interest is not sufficient. In order to buy the land itself, in order to buy the land itself, in order to buy the land, it's sufficient. In order to make the establishment using the construction materials, steel, iron, cement, okay, brick upon brick upon brick, okay, yes, exactly, copper, every single thing, copper wiring, okay, every single thing, construction, labor cost, everything, it is not sufficient. And hiring an engineer fees. So you are going to the same amount of bank, you are going to the same bank which has killed the which has killed the power of that X amount of money, successfully killed the value, or successfully killed the value of that X amount of money, and you are going to make a loan, and you are going to pay the interest to that particular storage unit by your blood, pain, suffering, or everything, which means it's a scam. You should not have listened to that particular fellow, because, and after 10 years, okay, which means you have deposited your money as a fixed deposit in 2020, and in 2040, in 2020 you have got it, and in 2040 you are going to able this, and you want to buy the land and the construction. After 20 years you are not able to do it. You are not able to buy even the land, and forget about the construction. You are not able to even buy the land, and for two things you have to make the loan again. Yes, exactly. First of all, they kill the power of the value. And by giving the same value, by preserving the same value over a period of a time with the interest, that is, the banks are safe. Yes, for preserving the value. Yes, just preserving the value, but they will kill the power of that value over a period of time in order to increase their profit with the assets. That is what the banks do. And if you don't know what is power, what is a power? I'm saying this power and everything. Okay, that's the reason. Okay, land and construction, two items. That's two different entities. In 2020, you are able to afford two entities. In 2030, you are able to afford only one entity over a period of 10 years. And in 2040, you are not able to afford even one single entity. You are have to make a loan. In 2020, you can afford both of them. That is X. Using X, you can afford both of them. That's the reason. Let us consider this x as 1. Okay, now see it. Now, this x as 1, and okay, now this is x as, okay, now this x as 2, now this is x as 2 in 2020. You have able to afford the two entities, the two items, that is the land as well as the construction, the land as well as the construction. And now that is x, the x tends to 2 has been lowered to 1, and then you have been lowered to 0. This is happens over a period of 10 years, and this happens period of 10 years. 10 years, 10 years, 2020. So which means, okay, which means the 10-year gap and the 10-year gap, the f of x is equal to x. Okay, that 2020 value is going to be the 2020 value, the 2020 value is going to remain x, and the 2030 value is going to, okay, the 2020 value, in the 2020 x amount of value you can afford 2 in, okay, oh, after 315 million seconds, after 315 million seconds you can afford only 1, and then after that particular thing this 1 becomes 0. After 315, okay, after 350 million seconds of that one, yes, it becomes 0. From two things, from 2 able to afford without doing loan, this 2, 315 million seconds it becomes 1, and then this 2 gets converted to 1, and then after 350 million seconds of this 1, 0. That's the reason the money is getting differentiated. The money is losing the power of this value. It's getting differentiated with respect to the time of 10 years and 20 years respectively. Okay, from 2 to 1 and 2 to 1, 2 to 1 and 1 to 0. Exact. And that's the reason mathematics is very, very important in order to learn the economics and the commerce. With the common sense. It is a common sense. It happens in real life. I'm not saying something which happens, okay, does not happen in, okay, space or, okay, some Antarctica. I'm saying this thing which happens inside the banks. Why it happens like this? Why the common man gets stolen again and again and again and again? Why the common man becomes poorer again and again and again? Why the middle class people? Why the common class people? That's the reason you have to understand the ladders. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? The banks, remember this thing, there are two lifts. Okay, there are two lifts simultaneously. Okay, one is downward lift and one is upward lift. Okay, in order to uplift themselves, they have completely downgraded your value. Okay, think like you are in second floor in 2020. In 2020 you are in second floor, upper lift. In 2020 you are in the second floor. You are in the second floor of the flat. Okay, lift. Okay, this is a lift. This is first floor, second floor. This is 2020, and you know, 20 in 2030. Okay, this one. And 2030, and you know, this one is 2040, and you know, this is 2030, and you know, this is 2040. Yeah, see here. Okay, I will tell it. Okay, here, see it. Lift. This is just like a lift. You can imagine the lift. Okay, you can imagine a lift where you are standing at second floor. This is the second floor. This is the second floor of the lift. This is second floor of lift. And the bank is also second floor. This is a bank. This is a bank. And this is a bank. This is a bank. And you have passed that value. You have passed that value. Okay, you have passed some important material to him, and you know he has taken this material to him. Okay, now he has taken this material to him. You know, and you know, now in 2030, that value, okay, becomes that value, okay, in 2030, okay, in 2030, okay, the power of this ring, the power of this radius, now this radius value, okay, now okay, let us understand this. Okay, this is center, some name it as O, okay, and this is as, okay, some A, OA. The radius is some, okay, some 3 centimeter. So from this 3 centimeter radius, it has become, okay, 2 centimeter radius, but you have not recognizing it, and you know, and this has become 1 centimeter radius. Okay, now from 0, from 3 centimeter radius, this is 3 centimeter radius to 2 centimeter radius and 1 centimeter radius. Okay, a circle, 3 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 1 centimeter. 2020, 2030, 2040. Now these guys, they have okay, now these guys, you know, these guys, they have eaten this centimeters, and these guys, they have made their, okay, these guys through the fractional reserve banking systems, FRBs, they have taken this 3 centimeter radius, 3 centimeter radius circle, and they have made this circle into almost, okay, almost how much? 81 centimeter radius over a period of over a period of 10 years through the fractional reserve banking, through the FRBs. Okay, and then here they have made this, yeah, exactly, to 243 centimeter, okay, or else 729 centimeter radius. Imagine that. Exactly, they have expanded their circle, but by diminishing your circle. Okay, banks are those structures in which you are going to, if you are going to give your money, think like your money is a circle. Your money is a circle with a radius, and they are going to decrease that radius over a period of a time by increasing the radius or and the circumference. Okay, they are going to decrease the radii. Okay, remember, okay, they are going to decrease the radius, they are going to decrease the radius, and they are going to decrease the circumference of your circle by increasing the radius and the circumference of their circle. Power wise, you give them any power, they are going to increase it through the fractional reserve banking systems. By creating, through the fractional reserve banking, they can create any amount of money, they can create 3 centimeter into almost, okay, 81 centimeters. Okay, they can create it, and charge the interest on that circle. But in 10 years it becomes 81, that is 3 power 4. In 20 years it becomes almost 3 power 6 or 3 power 7. I just said 3 power 7, it is much more than that. 729, it's more than that, it's more than that. 3 power 6, it's more than 3 power 8, 3 power 9. Okay, they are increasing, the base is same, the power gets changed. That's the reason you need to understand the concept of circle and the radii. It's okay, you can give any examples in order to describe a bank. you can give any of the example to describe what happens inside the bank. The banks, they are going to take your circle, they are going to reduce, remember, circle is a circle, they are going to say that circle is a circle, we are going to give you a circle. Remember, that circle power they have reduced it, Okay, the circle power, which means the circle power, they have reduced it. The circle power is getting thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner, which means the circle is drawn with the some great lines. Okay, again and again, almost it is, okay, almost it is drawn again and again and again. Okay, overwriting that circle lines again and again. Okay, which means it should be visible. Okay, in order to be brighter, in with the brighter ink, with a brighter ink. What is the power? That is a brighter ink. Ink, okay, power is ink. Okay, you need to understand the power. Okay, remember, they have, the power is the ink. The power is the, okay, brightness of the ink. Okay, okay, you have given it with the brightness of the ink. Okay, and at the same point of time, with respect to the period of time, they have reduced the brightness of that ink. By ink is a ink. If I draw with a gel pen, the gel pens or ink pens, the gel pen or the ink pen are somewhat brighter. Means you have given in 2020, you have drawn a circle. In 2020, you have drawn a circle with an ink pen, or else a okay, yes, Parker pen or ink pen. The ink pen circle is very much brighter. You know what? It's brighter. Okay, because ink pen, that's an ink pen. It's not a ballpoint pen. But after a period of 10 years, remember, okay, you have drawn a beautiful circle. Just imagine you have drawn a beautiful circle of 3 centimeter. Okay, here I am wrong. Here I am wrong. Okay, that they are decreasing the radius and the circle. They are not decreasing the radius and the circumference. They are not decreasing the radius and the circumference and the area. Okay, they are having an ability that, okay, whatever the tools which you have brought it in 2020, you have submitted an assignment. You have submitted an assignment to the bank. You have submitted an assignment to the bank of, okay, that you have drawn a beautiful circle of 5 centimeter, 3 centimeter circle. 3 centimeter circle you have drawn it with the ink pen, and you have submitted it to the bank with the ink pen. That ink pen in 2030, it becomes a ballpoint pen. It appears like a ballpoint pen. An ink pen becomes a ballpoint pen in 2030. That drawing becomes a, okay, you have drawn a painting. You have drawn a painting. You have drawn a painting with a, you have drawn a painting. 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 You have drawn a painting with the with the ink point pen, with the ink point, okay, with the ink pen, with the ink pen, in 2020. In 2030, you are, okay, that assignment, whatever you have given it, it becomes the ball pen, blue ballpoint pen. Okay, yes, exactly. And then in 2040, that same circle, whatever you have drawn, that circle radius remains the same, circumference remains the same, radius and circumference, okay, exactly, somewhat some change. Okay, from 3 centimeter it has become some 3.4 or 3.5 centimeter. Yes, exactly. But the with the curve with which the circle has been drawn, okay, this is different. This is a different. Here, see it. Here, see it. Here, see it. Okay, this is different. Okay, this is different. The ink pen appears like this. The ink pens, yes, exactly, in 2020, yes, exactly, and in 2030, and in 2040. This is ink pen. This is ink pen. Okay, they think that it is an ink pen. Then now it is a ball pen. In 2030, it becomes a ball pen. Yeah, one stroke. This is almost 4 to 5 strokes. It becomes a one stroke, and then it becomes useless stroke. It becomes a, it can be erased. It can be erased. And it's only visible only this much. So which means in 2020, 2030, 2040, 2020, 2030, 2040, these strokes are getting completely, Yes, exactly. So, what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? Is in 2020, 2030, 2040, you have just drawn those lines with the 4 to 5 strokes. That becomes only one stroke in 2030. Okay, but the radius is getting changed from 3 centimeter to from the r is getting changed from 3. Okay, the radius is 3 centimeter. Now the radius is 3 point some 25 centimeter. And then in 2040 the curvature, means the line, remember, you are having a circle, you are concentrating on the radius, you're concentrating on the radius. The radius is, my circle is getting bigger. Yes, your circle is getting bigger. Your circle is getting bigger from 3 centimeter radii, from 3 centimeter radius to 3.5 centimeter radius. The diameter is changing from 6 centimeter to 7 centimeter, over a period of 20 years. Your circle is changing. But what about the stroke? Then what about the strokes? You need to understand this thing. You need to understand. I will tell you. I'll just exactly tell you how much it is there. I will tell it. My handwriting is wrong. I'm sure. See here. See. In 2020, they have used 7 to 8 strokes of pen. 7 to 8 strokes of pen in 2020, and they have drawn the 3 centimeter radius. Means you have 3 centimeter radius whose power is 7 to 8 strokes of pen. They have promised that they will give the interest. They will give the interest here. Now they will give the interest. Yes, they have given the interest of 0.25 centimeter. The interest, the I, they have given to 0.25 centimeter interest over a period of 10 years. So that thing, but see the strokes, that is only one stroke. The 7 to 8 strokes of pen has reduced to only one stroke of pen in over a period of time from 2020 to 2030. In this 10 years, the 7 to 8 strokes of the pen gets converted to the one stroke. And in 2040, there is no pen only. There is no stroke of one pen. Pencil stroke is used. And the interest is again 0. The interest, it becomes 0.5 centimeter. From 2020 to 2040. Over a period of 20 years. Which means the 7 to 8 strokes of pen is becoming one stroke of pen, and then one stroke of pen is becoming a pencil. And that's the reason your pencil, the power of pen is becoming pencil, which can be erased. That's the reason that can be erased. Which means this thing has no value after 20 years. So remember, see, they have promised it. They have promised that they will give you the same circle. Yes, they have given you the same circle. This is the bank. This is what happens in a bank. They have given you the same circle. Yes, exactly. Is it circle? Yes, circle. Yes, radius. They have promised you to give the radius. They have increased the radius. Yes, increasing the radius. Yes, they have given it from here to here to here. Yes, they have increased from here to here to here. When they have increased from here to here to here, you have to see the power also. 7 to 8 strokes, 7 to 8 times repeating. Yes, exactly. And here just one stroke. And the pen is losing the value. The pen's power, the strokes of pen, they are losing from 7 to 8 strokes. The strokes are getting subtracted from 7 to 8, losing the stroke power from 7 to 8 to 1. And then the strokes have the pen strokes have completely lost the value, and the pen strokes have completely lost the value. The pen strokes have completely have completely lost the value, and then the pencil stroke happened, but by increasing the radius 3.5. And this thing is waste. this thing is waste. And that's the reason, remember, that's the reason, remember, always remember this diagram whenever you're passing the money to the bank. Always remember this bank. That's the reason. You have given the circle here. You have given the circle here. Example. Circle is the same. Circle is the same. That is 3 centimeter. 3 centimeters is x plus 0.25 and x plus 0.5. This x, okay, this x plus 0.25 in with respect to period of 10 years, and the x plus 0.5 with respect to 20 years, it's waste. Why? Okay, f of x is equal to, f of x is equal to x, with respect to, with respect to the time, with respect to time, here it is dt by dx, means it's a variable is changing, I think, yes, exactly. Now just think like it is t, it's t, sorry, it's t, now it's t, now shit, because you need to have a variable here, right? You need to have a variable. See, think like, dx by dt, with respect to the time, and differentiation of x with respect to the time, it is becoming 1, it is losing the value, value, because d by dt, d by dt of 0.25, it's going to be 0, it's going to be 0, because this value is waste, because it's not matching the inflation, it's never matches the inflation. So just remember that thing, just forget about this thing. Now this one is very, very important to understand the nature of the bias. So what is the reason, they are doing it? The reason is quite shocking. That is assets versus liabilities. No one understood the game of assets versus liabilities. What is asset? You don't know. What is liability? You don't know. What is GDP definition? Only you know. Per capita divided by total population, you know. Definitions are not going to solve you the problems. How the bank works, how the economy works, how money works, how finance works, how business works, every single thing you have to know. So when you know every single thing, then only you can understand the game. Now here's it. See, the bank's power, the power of a radius 3 centimeter, it becomes 3.25. Means interest. The bank has paid interest of 0.25 centimeter. The bank has a circle. The bank has this circle for 10 years, and the bank has added an interest of 0.25 centimeter radius. 0.25 centimeter radius over a period of 10 years. That is fixed deposit. That is fixed. And over a period of next 20 years, yes, exactly. It becomes 3.5. A fixed deposit over 20 years is somewhat like, just imagine this is some 3.65 centimeter, because if you keep it for time, if you keep it for a lot of period of time, they are going to give you somewhat greater interest. So that's the reason the fixed deposit rates are somewhat very higher with respect to the number of years. If you keep it more, they are going to give it more. Why they are going to give it more? They know the inflation, but you don't know anything about inflation. You don't know anything about inflation, but they know everything about the inflation. Congratulations, you have been caught successfully too. That's the reason. If anyone is going to give you something, he's not going to give it for free. If a rich man gives you something for free, reject that, because he's going to make you addicted. He's going to make you addict for it, and then he's going to charge for it, and then he's going to make a monopoly for it. That is what the rich men do. What is, yes, that's the reason. If the banks are going to give you large amount of interest for keeping that value, that value of in lakhs or crores, that lakhs, what you have got it in that bank for a number of years, the banks, they know that thing, that they are going to kill the power of that value over a period of a time, and that value is of no use over a period of 20 years or 10 years or anything. So the banks are the murderers of the power of the value. They're the murderers. They're the murderers of the power of the power of the money. They are the murderers, because the storage facility, it should act as a storage facility, because yes, exactly, 7 to 8 strokes of pen, but you're not concentrating on the diagrams here. You are concentrating on circles here, but you're not concentrating on the diagrams, the power with which that circle has been drawn. The power with which the circle has been drawn is also very, very important. The power in 2020, again, the circle has been drawn using 7 to 8 strokes of pen. 7 strokes, 1 stroke, second stroke, third stroke, 7 strokes. It has been used for that particular circle of radius 3 centimeter. And then after 10 years, they have given you 25 centimeter. Okay, 25. No, okay, 0.25. Okay, 0.25. Okay, yes, exactly, 0.25 centimeter, 0.25 centimeter as an interest. So when they have given it, so totally it has become 3.25 centimeter. Yes, you are happy. Yes, of course I agree. Then what about the strokes there? Then what about the stroke with which the circle has been drawn? Yes, the circle has become bigger. I agree. The circle has become bigger. Yes, exactly. The bank has said it. Yes, exactly. I agree. They have preserved it and they have added the value. But then what about the power? Then what about the power with which you can purchase it using that circle? Because the strokes have been decreased from 7 to 8 strokes. 1 stroke, 2 stroke, just from 7 to 8, it has become only 1 stroke. And then in 2040, they have drawn that circle. They have extended that. Okay, they have extended that 0.25 centimeter interest to plus 0.40 centimeter. That is from 3 centimeter in total with respect to 2020. They have done from 3 centimeter to 3.65 centimeter. But you have to look at the picture, but you have to look at this, not the circles, but with respect to this, this one, with respect to this one. There's a lot of difference between this. There's a hell of difference between this and this and this. This is different. This is different. Okay, this is different. This is different. This is different, and this is different. So with time, okay, from getting 7 to 8 strokes of one pen to 7 to 8 strokes of one pen before 10 years, and now you are 10 years. Now you are in present, and then after in 10 years you are going to get a pencil. Huh? It's just like you are going to play with the leather ball. You are going to play international cricket. It's just like, remember this thing, before 10 years, 10 years you are playing present right now. Now you are going to play international cricket with the leather ball and the cork ball, and then you are leather ball and the kookaburra ball, and then after 10 years you are going to play the domestic cricket. After 10 years you are going to play the domestic cricket, and then after 10 years you are going to play the gully cricket. means from international cricket you have downgraded to gully cricket. It's okay. It's just like going to tell you, in football you are going to play the football, okay, internationally for Real Madrid or Barcelona or Chelsea or else okay, Arsenal, okay, exactly, huh? That is international. And then after 10 years you are going to play in junior level, means from playing in the senior level Arsenal to junior level Arsenal. And then you are then after 20, okay, then means after 10 years in 2020 you are playing in a senior level football. And then in okay 20, okay, present you are playing 20 years 20 years earlier, means present you are playing, and after 10 years you are playing in junior level. After 10 years means you have downgraded from senior level to junior level. And then you have and in junior level you have been kicked out. And then after 10 years you have been downgraded to the okay slum football, means you are playing in the football in the colonies, which means yes, you are playing the football same. Yes, you are playing the football. Earlier you used to score some less goal because it's international. Before okay, the starting, and because it's international highly, yes, exactly. Hmm? And after 10 years you are going to score more goals, that is interest. And in slum, yeah, you are going to score more goals, heavy goals, because you are a, yeah. But you have to see where you are playing at, in which platform you are playing, from international to the domestic, from international to the junior level, and from junior level to the gully level. Okay, yes, exactly, to the exactly. So which means you are successfully decreased the value of the competition, decrease the power of the skills, decrease the power of the skills of the decrease the power of the skills of your opponents, and then you are scoring the goals. That is what the banks do. That is what the banks do. You need to understand. Okay, that's what the yes, exactly. And all this is done, okay, because I'm taking a lot of time to make you understand this thing. It's as if like it's as if like I will tell you. It's as if like your friend has taken you to the jungle. The banks will take you to the jungle, and then okay, the bank people, they will take you to the jungle. They will say that okay, yes, close your eyes, open your mouth, say ha ha ha, okay, and then they will land you inside the jungle. The lion is going to bite you, the lion is going to hunt you down, you're going to somewhat escape, and the banks are going to escape you out. The banks are the ones who is going to escape you out. Okay, and they're going to make you treat, and they're going to treat you, okay, and they are going to escape you with the vehicle. Okay, and the line is chasing. When the line is chasing, the banks are going to give a lift in order to, yes, exactly, you are having a lot of injuries, scars, okay, the blood is coming, and then they will admit you to the hospital. But okay, you should be happy or you should be sad. You should be happy or you should be sad, because these are the persons who has put you inside the jungle. Just imagine your friend has done that. Okay, your friend has put you inside the jungle, that okay, he has rescued you, okay, when in the meantime, and then he has took you to the hospital. Instead of I don't want to put the money inside the, okay, instead of okay, I don't want to go inside the jungle, still have to go, okay, still my friend's house, okay, my friend's house inside the jungle, he has successfully done it inside the jungle. And when he is successfully done inside the jungle, case exactly, then he could have constructed his house inside the city rather than the jungle, where there is a lot of risk. So the banks are those entities in which there is a hell of a risk involved, and they are the ones who are going to take you to the hospital, and they are going to cure you out, and they are the ones who are going to rescue you out, and they are the ones who are going to give you the hospital treatment. And that's what we call, it's a power. Earlier you used to walk and run, now you used to limp. Now you are having a support, yes, because you are okay, your the lion has done its job. The lion has done its job. Why the lion has done its job? Yes, exactly. The lion has done its job, and now you are just limping. You're just limping. Means your hands are not, your hands bandaged. Your hands bandaged. And you are not able to walk. You're not able to walk. First you are able to walk and run, and then yes, exactly. Just think like okay, your mother is the bank, and she's hitting you on the top. She's hitting you, hitting you on the legs, and at the same point of time, she's expecting you to come first inside. She's injuring you. She's injuring your leg purposefully. And at the same point of time, she's expecting you to run inside the competition of running race by feeding you the glucose and some great vitamins. So understood the game. It's just like you can say it. It's just like you can say it, like okay, you are in okay, no, the banks are the, which means this people, the banks people, okay, they will take you, they will give you a lift. Sir, we will take you from here to here. Okay, you are running. Okay, you are running. Nothing is happening. Okay, you are running, and you are saying like, okay, I have to be safe. Okay, I have to be safe. Maybe some people. Okay, a lot of traffic is there. I need a vehicle. So the banks are the one who is going to give a lift, and the banks have promised you from position A to position D. From position A to D, they will give you lift from position A to D without having to pay anything. And for coming inside the bus, they are going to give you money. So you are stuck in a traffic, and some bus is there, and you are not going to pay for that thing. See, you are not going to pay anything for the bus ticket. They are going to pay it. The buses are okay. The banks are those bus drivers and conductors. They are going to take you inside it, and they are going to give the money. But during the journey from position A to position D, what is going to happen? You know what? They are going to hit you really hard. Here, everywhere they are going to hit you. And they are going to weaken you completely. And now you are going to be in a hospital after position A to D, because you have to cure yourself. How much they have given the money, that is not sufficient to get treated in the hospital, because they have already hit you like that. That is what the banks do. See, unfortunately, I have to say this, because you are trying to save the time. You are trying to be like safe. You are trying to be like safe because it is crowded, and maybe there is a chance of someone stealing your pocket. Yes, exactly. You are not having confidence on yourself that Okay, maybe some crowd is there. Okay, maybe some crowd is there. I'm going to safeguard my wallet. But in order to safeguard your wallet, you have, okay, entered a bus of bankers where they have allowed you to sit, and they have given you money called as interest, and think that, okay, you have that money, and for that money they have given you some interest, and from they have reached you from position A to D, and see, they have done it, they have delivered their promise. Means, see, if they have given you 10 grand, after you come after 5 years also, you will receive the 10 grand with some interest. Yes, the same thing applies here. Inside the bus, you are there with the 10 grand, but they have given you, yes, exactly. They have given you, okay, they have given you interest for that 10 grand. But from position, from, okay, think that, okay, this position A to, let us say E, position A to position E, from position 0 to position E, okay, position A, B, C, D, E, 5 stops means 5 years. 5 stops means 5 years. But in 5 stops to 5 years, okay, in 5 stops from the buses from 0 to 5 years, okay, from the buses to 0 to 5 years, they are giving you interest on every single stop, A, B, C, D, E. So they are giving you interest on every single stop, and they are hitting you every single way. They are almost, they are killing you with the blood here, 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 here. Now you have, and whatever the money they have given it, or whatever the money they have given it, yes, you have successfully reached the destination, but now you have to go to the hospital and get treated, because you are going to spend more money, because you have to get treated first. So that's the reason. Don't trust the banks. Never ever trust the banks. It is what it is. The banks have two rules. Okay, the banks have two rules right now. The banks have two rules. Is that the first rule of the thing is, the first rule is, there know 4 things. The first thing is the fractional reserve banking system, that, okay, with which every single central banks and its thing works. FRB, that FRB is the greatest goddamn scam. Okay, forget about that thing. FRB, okay, FRB, and the inflation, okay, interest rate, and at the same point of time, it's called as the FRB is gone, inflation is gone, and then it's called as the, okay, assets versus liabilities. Assets versus liabilities. And then the fourth one is the things. Okay, now FRB, assets versus liabilities. What is fractional reserve banking? The two laws, and then the two laws of the banks. Then the two laws of the banks. The two laws of the banks are, the first law is, all the deposits, all the withdrawals, and all the loan clearance are not going to happen at the same period of a time. All the deposits are not going to happen at one period of a time. All the loans, all the withdrawals are not going to happen at one period of time, and all the loan clearance, that is debt clearance, is not going to happen at one period of time. Second law. Okay, backing of the central bank. Backing of the central bank. Okay. The first law is the fractional reserve banking system. Okay, what is fractional reserve banking system? Is, okay, earlier, okay, this is a principle. The principle itself is a scam. The goldsmiths, they used to, okay, they used to deposit, they used to give out the deposits. See, they used to preserve the gold. they used to preserve the gold of certain people. They used to give this certain people, they are given it to you. Okay, it's just like ABCD has given the gold to the goldsmith, lot of gold, and now EFGHIJK want the loan. Now ABCD has given the gold, and there is a lot, okay, lot of gold is there. Now what happened in earlier centuries is very, very important. What happened in earlier centuries? Tell me. What happened? Please tell me what happened. Okay. Because you don't know. Okay, let me tell you. You know that, okay, these people, the goldsmiths, they used to understand one thing, that these people are not going to demand their gold all at one period of a time. They are not going to withdraw their gold all at one period of a time, and they are not coming to deposit their gold at one period of a time. And you know what? The persons who used to take the loans, the person who used to take the loans, they had to give out the interest. Right now also it is there, but earlier they used to have the receipts of the goldsmiths. Receipts that there is sufficient gold inside that particular vault, that using that gold standard, okay, using that gold standard of the goldsmiths, okay, they can write many, they used to write many receipts, okay, many receipts. That much receipt, that much gold, they don't have it, first of all, because they know that all the people are not going to demand their gold at one point of time, which means they used to write out the receipts, how much receipt they want. Yes, write the receipt, writing the receipt and giving the loan, writing the receipt and giving the loan, writing the receipt and giving the loan, writing the receipt and giving the loan to everyone. Okay, and for that loan, okay, writing the receipt and giving the loan, that much money should be there in transaction, in transaction, but that is a fugazi, that is a fake thing, that is not there. Okay, think like there are only some 10 gold bars. Okay, the 10 gold bars loan you have given it, the 10 gold bars, how much value it's there. Okay, how much collateral is 10 gold bars. The collateral is 10 gold bars. Okay, the goldsmiths have the ability to give the loans of only 10 gold bars. Loan, that much valuation, how much it is there in that market, okay, they can give it. But the goldsmiths, they understood one thing, all the people, all the ABCD are not going to withdraw their gold from one period of a time. That is called as a bank run. That is different. Okay, you can go and search that. So all the people are not going to withdraw at one point of time. All the people are not going to clear their debt at one point of time. They knew it, the goldsmiths, and they played this riddle, and they played this gamble very completely. That's a fugazi, which means I'm not doing anything, but I have to collect the interest, because I don't have the 11th gold bar, I don't have the 12th gold bar, I don't have the 13th gold bar, I don't have the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. The 10th gold bar, how much? Okay, I have the capacity of issuing the loans of the value of 10 gold bars. But I know one thing, the goldsmiths know one thing that they don't know, but that the ABCD, they don't know that these goldsmiths, the ABCD, they are not going to come and take this gold at one point of time. They are giving out the interest of this gold loan. They are giving the interest, some spending amount to the ABCD, and the ABCD are happy, and the goldsmiths are making ABCD happy. And when the ABCD are happy, and they are not going to come it out, and every single one, E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S up to capital Z. Okay, capital Z. Okay, E F G H. Capital ABCD are getting the interest because they have deposited it. E F G H, capital E to capital Z, capital E, capital E, capital F, E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T, okay, up to Z. It is they have took the loan. They have took the loan of the value of the. They have took the loan of the value of the. Say A B C D. They have deposited 10. They have deposited 10, 10, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is 10 gold bars. 10 gold. This is 10 gold bars. This is 10 gold bars. ABCD have deposited it. ABCD have deposited it. And the goldsmith is giving the interest. Okay, now the ABCD they have deposited the gold here in the goldsmith, and the goldsmith is giving the, you know what, the interest I to this. And the ABCD, the status of ABCD are, all of them, they are what, happy that their gold is preserved. The gold is preserved, and on the top of this gold preservation, they are going to get some interest. But these goldsmiths are somewhat cunning people. What they understood, all this ABCD are not going to demand their goldsmiths. Why not? Why should I not? Why should I should not? Okay, remember, the goldsmiths, they used to issue the receipts that, okay, they used to issue the receipts that, okay, that this much people, they have this much gold is here, and using this you can buy out anything. Okay, now that is the interest they used to buy it. The interest were used to be in a paper, I think, a paper. And then using this paper issued by the goldsmiths, okay, the ABCD used to buy the things in the market. Now goldsmiths understood one thing, that the gold does not matter. The gold inside, see, using the receipts issued by the goldsmiths, the ABCD used to buy the real things in the real market, okay, for the real gold which they have supplied inside the vault. But they never but the goldsmith, they understood one thing. They understood this fugazi, that the gold inside the gold bars inside the golden vault, the golden bars inside the vault does not matter. What matters is the receipt. So if I give out many receipts, they are going to buy out many things. They are going to buy out many real things inside the market, and they are going to be happy. And that's the reason for the loans I'm going to collect the interest. So what I should do? Let me write out the receipts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Writing the receipts. Okay. They have done this from E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L up to E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. From E to N, from capital E to N, the E has taken the loan value. E has taken the loan value of one gold bar, and F, G, H, I, J, K, E to N, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, totally 10 people, they have taken the gold loan. That loan they have taken it, the receipt has been given to them, and they have to pay interest to them. And until this point it was easy. E to N, E, F, G, H, this 10 gold bars, 10 different loans. Yes, it's good. Then what about, then E, F, G, E to N demanded it. Then came M, N, then came O, then came capital O, then came capital O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And then came small a, small b, small c, small d, E, F, G, small g. So these people, they came in order to demand what? The loan from this goldsmith. But the goldsmith does not have enough gold standard, okay, in order to give out the loan. But the goldsmith did not, if the goldsmith was honest, he said no. But the goldsmith was not honest. He was scammer. He was not honest. Okay. So what he did, he started issuing the receipts here. Take the receipts. 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 So this from capital O to capital Z, and from small a to small h, these people, they don't know that this much gold does not exist in this world. But still he is giving out the still he is giving out the receipts. Still he is giving out the receipts. Still is giving out the receipts. Okay, saying that there is a gold when there is no gold. And these bastards from capital O to capital Z, they are giving out the interest to that goldsmith for the money which they don't have. Okay, these people are working really hard. These people are working really hard. Okay, from capital O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. Okay, these people they are not have. Okay, these people. Okay, these people they don't know that goldsmith is not having. Okay, Goldsmith knows that he is not having enough gold, but okay, but OPQRSTU, okay, every single one is telling that this goldsmith has gold, and goldsmith has created an impression that yes, he has that gold, and he knows ABCD is not going to demand their gold at all at a one point of time, and goldsmith is very very happy, and the goldsmith is very very happy. That's the reason he has issued the paper, and this receipts became the currencies during that era. So the goldsmith's approval, the goldsmith's signature, and with a receipt, it became the pattern that this is a legal transaction. That legal transaction, nobody knew behind the doors that there is no sufficient gold backing for that particular loan which has been issued by the goldsmith himself. So which means that was a fugazi, and then it was a fugazi. Remember, ABCD given the gold, capital E to N, they have been given the loan amount. They have given the sufficient greatest loan amount, greatest loan amount to whom? To capital E F G H I J K L M up to N. But when O came, the gold standard, the goldsmiths, whatever the gold bars he is having, he has issued out the loan. Okay, based upon that gold value in the market. But every single gold bar value is finished. Now there is no 11th gold bar. The 10th gold bars, up to how much loan has to be issued, it has to be issued. But now, okay, but that's okay. What is the meaning of that? What is the gold standard? Which means if E F G H I J K L up to if E F G H I J K L up to MN, if they are not able to repay their loan with the interest, whatever the thing has to be there, then the goldsmith has to sell the gold, because remember, it became a it is a scam, because one or the other day this scam is going to be found out, and you know what, the ABCD are going to lose the these people, they are going to lose their faith inside the goldsmiths. ABCD, that this bastard has given the loans, uncountable number of receipts to all the people, even though he's not having that much gold, and this E to N, they don't know. E to N, they know it, goldsmith know it, if there is a sufficient gold, but E to N don't know. Remember, ABCD knows that they have deposited, but E to N knows it all. Let us draw. Now goldsmith means early bank. Now this modern bank is this goldsmith ABCD, and the goldsmith, they know, but E F G H I J K L M N, they the goldsmiths know, and the EFGH IJK they don't know, but they are only and capital O to capital Z and small a to small h. You need to understand here. A B C D, they know it. And because they have deposited in the goldsmith, this thing they know, and the goldsmiths they know, and the goldsmiths are giving out the interest, small interest, and you know what, this guys E F G H I J K L M N, they don't know how much gold is there inside the goldsmith vault. How much gold is there inside the vault of the goldsmith. These people, they don't know, but these goldsmith, they know, and it is legal. 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 This is legal. This is legal. then comes this guy. Then comes this guys. This guys, they comes, and okay, this is legal. That's why it is legal is written in blue. Legal is written in blue. Okay, what is legal? Okay, index. Okay, let us index. Index. Let us write index. What is legal? The legal is the legal thing, or else, okay, honest thing. The legal or honest thing is written in blue, but the okay, corrupt or cheating is written in, okay, black. Okay, it is written in, is shown in red. This O to Z, okay, O to Z are good people. This A to H are good people. Okay, O to Z are good people. O to Z are good people. A to H are good people. They are good people. But they are asking the loan from this guy, the goldsmith. And the goldsmith, he knows there is the valuation of 10. The valuation of 10 is gone. The valuation of 10 is gone. There is nothing. But still, the goldsmith promised. The goldsmith promises that there is enough gold backing, and then he says, yes, there is enough gold, when there is nothing. Reality, this is reality. There is nothing. There reality, and this is nothing. This is okay. This is reality, and this is fugazi. This is fugazi. Yeah, everything is fugazi here. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and he says like, okay, there is a lot of gold here, and that's the reason he's issuing the loan from them for the gold which they doesn't have in the first place, and then he is collecting the interest on the top of it. Okay, and interest, and then it became the principle of today's banking system. The principle of today's banking system. Okay, you can see it, how much the thing is illegal, but still it is made legal, because yeah. And you know, okay, what will happen with the fractional reserve banking? There are many benefits, because it gives the, see, remember, giving the loan means they can get the goods and services. They can get the using the loans, they can get their, okay, demands back in order to demand their backs. But you need to understand one thing, sir. Okay, this lot of people from capital A to capital D, from capital A to from capital A to capital D, and so forget about A to D. Okay, forget about A to D. This capital A to capital N, capital E to capital N, and from capital O to capital Z, and small a to small h. These three sets, they have taken these three sets, they have taken the goldsmith values, they have all the values. Okay, even though they have taken these loans, even though they have taken the loans, even though they have taken the loans, values. Okay, these people they have. And what if they chase the same goods and services? Are you understanding it? Okay, E to F. Okay, E to F. O to Z. A to small capital, small a to H. This is cap, this is capital, and this is small. Okay, these people, okay, or what if they chase, okay, what if they chase the same number of goods and services? The same goods and services. And imagine there is no king or government. And okay, the private sellers, whatever the private sellers, they wanted to sell it. Yes, exactly. They wanted to sell it. Okay, without any auction. Okay, without any government, without any fixing of prices in the government. Okay, they are going to go for an auction. Why? Okay, what is the meaning of that? Because using this principle, you can give out many number of loans. Fractional reserve banking systems, using these systems, you can give out many loans from E capital E to capital N, O to Z, capital O to Z, and a to small h. But what if they chase the same number of goods? What if they chase the same goods and services? If they chase this different goods and services, okay, well and good. One wants a hair dryer, one wants a phone. Okay, one wants a hair dryer, one wants a phone, one wants a carpet, one wants a cloth. Okay, well and good. These are the businesses. These are the businesses. Now, one wants a cloth, one wants a gadget. Okay, one wants accessories, electronics and accessories. Yes, this different people, they need different things. Okay, well and good. And there's no king or any government. Okay, remember I'm saying this: no king or no government. When there's no king or no government, the people are going to have an auction. Auction of prices is going to happen, because when auction of prices is going to happen, whoever pays the highest price, they are going to get that item or any that valuable item. Okay, whatever. So which means this E to F or O to Z or A, again this capital E to capital F, capital O to capital Z, and small a to small h. If all these people in the same set of people, if they demand the same, okay, if they demand the same goods and services, then what will happen? All of them, they want the same house. What will happen? All of them, they want the same cloth. What will happen? All of them, they want the same gadget. What will happen? And the gadgets are very less. The houses are very less. And every single thing is private. There is no government sector. There is no king sector. There is no private sector. Sorry, there is no king. There is no kingdom, and there is no government. Think like that. And every single thing is private sector, private people. Okay, who will pay highest, they're going to get it. Which means this E to F, O to Z, A to H. Okay, this E to F, O to Z, and small a to H. They have to pay out lot of funds. They have to pay out lot of funds. Okay, because there will be competition. Because suppose if you think like, okay, there is some 15,000. Suppose there is a suppose there is a suppose there is a cost of 25,000 units of currency. Okay, for one particular thing, and everyone has taken, and E to F, O to Z, A to H. Okay, they have different numbers with them. Some like like 10,000. Okay, some having 10,000. Okay, E to F. Okay, E to N, E to capital N, E to capital N, O to Z. Okay, these people are having the different ranges from 10 grand, 10,000 to some 1,50,000. 10 grand to some not 1,50,000. Let's just assume like some 75,000. So from 10k to 75k, these people are having the things. And when these people are having 10k to 75k, the price of that particular thing is been set at 25. Okay, now 75,000 is the maximum price. Okay, maximum value someone holds. And 10 grand, 10 grand is the minimum. 10 grand is the minimum and 75 grand is the maximum. And if 10 grand is the minimum and 75 grand is the maximum, you can tell me that. Okay, now you can tell me that directly. Okay, by looking at this picture, you can imagine the picture inside your mind and inside your thought and inside your heart, that these people, they are going to go for a disaster. What is that? They have to work. First of all, the goldsmith, he does not have the gold bar, and then he has issued a lot of receipts. And at the same point of time, these people are going out and they are charging. They are going to buy something for 25,000 bucks. The persons who are having 10,000 bucks or 11,000 bucks, 12,000 bucks, he is having a greed. He is having a greed that he is going to get at 25,000. And then Okay, why then he goes for goldsmith again, and then the goldsmith writes the receipt again. That is a loan. He takes the loan. Then 20,000 loan he will take extra. The person who is having 10,000 is going to take 20,000 loan, and now his valuation is 30,000. Then who is going to benefit from it? The goldsmith, because he is going to get the interest of extra 20,000 units of currency. And then there's slowly the people who are having 10,000 or 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000, 15,000, 16,000. They started going to goldsmiths and collecting the extra receipts. that is a paper currency. That was a paper currency at that point of time, signed by the goldsmiths. Right now the governors used to sign. Right now the governors of the central banks, they used to sign. Earlier the goldsmiths, they used to sign. The goldsmiths, they used to issue the receipts. And when the goldsmiths, they used to issue the receipts, the goldsmiths, they don't have that much gold here, and they are getting the interest on that thing, which they don't have it. And these people, if they are chasing the same goods and services, they are applying the auction method, and then it is sold at almost 55,000 unit, and that became the thing. And someone from Y or Z took it to their place, and then all of them, they are unhappy. But during the process, the Y to Z are also having some 55,000, but they are paying out the interest. But right now these people, E to F, E to N, capital E to N, and O to Z, and A to H, they have to and a small a to H, they have to pay the extra price, extra amount which they have took it in order to get that item, in order to get that valuable item, valuable entity. That thing, to get that thing, they have done a hell of loans from the goldsmiths, and the goldsmiths are not having the money, and they are enjoying the interest paid by these guys. So that's how the goldsmiths become much richer. And these people, when they, that's the reason the fractional reserve banking systems, if it creates a lot of loans, and the different loans, every single person, loans, the loans, remember, different loans, different loans, different persons, and different persons are having different grade, different their desire, and they are chasing the same goods and services. When they are chasing the same goods and services, if they chase the different goods and services, well and good. If they chase all of them, if it is divergent, it is going to be problem. If it is divergent, if that diverges, if their greed and their desires, and the greeds, they diverge, no problem. If their greed and the desires converge to get one particular item, and that has an auction, then the devaluation of the currency will happen. That is called as a devaluation of currencies. That is what we call it. Remember this thing. That's the reason the fractional reserve banking system gives rise to currency devaluation, because it devaluates the currencies. It is built for devaluating the currencies, because it creates the competitors. It creates a great number of values. Fractional reserve banking gives out the money out of thin air. Gives a large number of loans. Heavy quantity of loans, a large number of values inside the bank accounts of the people. And if those people, they want the same goods and services, and that becomes the goods and services cannot be manufactured, because the goods and services cannot be created out of thin air. It has to be manufactured in the manufacturing industries. The steel, iron, cement to buy one house. Which means the house is constructed from bricks and everything. So this cannot be manufactured from this cannot be created out of thin air, but this is what is created in real space. So in real time, using the real time materials, this thing, it has to be given a sufficient amount of money to get that thing. But these people, they are having loan amount, and they have to pay the interest back. And you know what? Who is going to get that house? The someone who is going to make a hell of demand. The supply is very less and the demand is very high. The supply and the demand rule. The supply is very less and the demand is very high, and then it's going to be charging very high. So that is what we call it as a currency devaluation. And when currency devalues, okay, because they print too much cash. First of all, the government prints too much cash in circulation, and at the same point of time, the goods and services are not increasing with respect to the people, and then the currency devaluation is going to happen. And when the currency devaluation happens, okay, what is currency devaluation? I will tell you. Okay, now, okay, what is devaluation? Okay, what is devaluation of currency? Means currency is devalued. Too much money in circulation. What will happen? Every single one is having the value. Again, they are going to get the money and they are going to get it, and that's the reason the prices are going to be increased. Okay, the scalpers, the auctioneers, exactly, the middlemen, everything. Okay, remember, okay, the PlayStation and the Xbox prices are going to get increased. Okay, in 2020 because of COVID, because everyone was sitting at home and everyone is so scratching their head what to do, and that's the reason the gaming became, yes, exactly, the PlayStation and the PlayStation prices got higher and higher. You remember that thing? Why? Yes, the demand was very high and the supply was medium, and that's the reason, yes, everyone wanted to play the game, and that's the reason the prices got higher and higher. And okay, that's what we call it as a currency devaluation. The currency devalues, because what is the currency devaluation? What is devaluation currency? You have to give the more funds of devalued currency, okay, to match the standard, to valuate it, to match the standard, to valuate it, or else match the standard of the goods and services in order to get the goods and services from the seller. I will repeat it again. What is devaluation of the currencies? That you have to give out more funds. You have to give out more funds of your currency. You have to give out more funds of your currency. You have to give out more. You have to give out more funds of that devalued currency. You have to, okay. What is devaluation of currency means? You have to give out more funds of the, okay, the devalued currency, okay, to valuate it, to that particular standard of, to validate it, or else to reach that standard of goods and services in order to get the goods and services from the seller. That is what the thing is. Means you have to give out more funds of your currency, which means you are going to devalue your dollar. When dollar becomes 0, okay, so the value of 1 becomes 0.9. So 1, okay, 1, what is 1? What is 1? 1, okay, what is 1? Okay, how much 1 takes 9? How much 1 takes 9? How much 1 takes, how much 1 is required to reach 9? How much 1 is required to reach 9? How many 1 has to be, how much 1 time 1 has to rebound or multiply in order to reach 9? Yes, exactly 9. 1 multiplies 9, 9. Okay, I will devalue it. 1 to 0.9. Okay, so what it has to, what is the meaning of that? Then you have to work. So what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of that? That 0.9 has to reach 9. Okay, how much? Remember, what is currency devaluation? Okay, I will tell you. What is currency devaluation? Okay, best example. Currency devaluation means, okay, I will tell you. Currency devaluation. Okay, now, okay, I will stop it here because, okay, too much time it's been taken. Okay, because currency devaluation I will continue it in the next class. That is the next video. Okay,